everyone. Today I thought we could talk about some media that I've been consuming. Yeah, so these are going to be what I've watched in February and maybe a little bit of January. I'm not sure when this video will come out. It might be like a lot later in February, but hopefully that's okay. Yeah, so I'll just start by talking about what movies I've been watching in February. So I'll just go in order of what I watched. So the first thing I watched in February was Little Woman, 1994. I didn't think this one was gonna hit me as hard as the Greta Gerwig one, but oh my god, Little Woman is not for the faint of heart. Yeah, made me sob. I guess it just will every time because it's literally such a beautiful story. It's not even like the sad parts that make me sob. It's literally just like everything about it is so beautiful. There was a few things in this one that I liked better than the Greta Gerwig one. For example, I think it's Meg. Oh my god. Hold on. Or Beth. Who the hell? Okay, yeah, not Meg. Yeah, there was a few things that I liked better in this one than I did in the Greta Gerwig one. For example, Beth's character I think was fleshed out like so much better, and she actually seemed like a person in this one. Greta Gerwig's one, she kind of just felt like she was there just to be there, but this one, like, you could really see how like kind and selfless she was, and like how that juxtaposed with all the other girls. They're like a little bit more selfish, not in a bad way, just they know what they want and they're like doing things to get to that place that they want to be at. And Beth is just kind of more like simple, and she kind of just takes things, as they are. It really like felt more impactful to the story that Beth was more fleshed out, because when she, spoiler alert, dies, it felt a lot more impactful. I'm saying this, but I think the Greta Gerwig one will forever be my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the first one that I watched, and it really resonated with me. But yeah, I think I will always have a place in my heart for that one. There's just scenes in that one that like will be in my mind forever that I don't think I will ever be able to forget. And that's why I think it's my fave. And yeah, I just think Little Woman is the best thing ever written. And yeah, it's crazy that things that people were feeling, like especially women back in the day, and people can still relate to it, like me. Like, I still relate to Joe so much, and the fact that it's been like 200 years since it was written and people still relate is so, I think, very cool. So yeah, that was Little Woman. The next movie that I watched was The Wild Robot. I thought it was cute. The animation was done really well, which I'm always a big fan of, so was happy about that. The futuristic stuff, though, I was not so much of a fan of. Yeah, it just felt like they were adding conflict just to add conflict. And I just like a chill story sometimes, and I just feel like it could have just been chill, like them living in the forest, because those were the parts that I really enjoyed, just like the forest life and how she was like being integrated into it. Yeah, I thought that was cute. Just could have done without like the spaceships and the space fight and everything. It just felt like a whole shift of the movie. But yeah, overall cute, and the possums were so funny. I loved them. Yeah, so that was Wild Robot. And the next movie that I watched was Saturday Night. So I went in thinking I was gonna be able to follow along, but I was so wrong. Like, I don't know anything about Saturday Night. I've never watched a single episode of that show. Like, I don't know who's on it today. I don't know who's on it when it started. So I don't know why I thought I would be able to keep up. This movie is definitely for Saturday night live fans. But yeah, I don't know, I just kept getting confused, like, who is who, because they kept calling people nicknames, or like, I don't know, they would have stage names, but they'd call them by their real names, and I was like, I'm confused, like, who's who. And also, they had the guy who plays Cousin Greg in Succession. I don't know his real name, but they had him playing two characters. And I, like, the whole movie thought this was a person in real life that was just changing clothes to be two different people, like, just trying to, like, fool people into thinking he had, like, two different, like, characters he could play, and nobody knew. So I think that was kind of a really bad call to cast him as two different characters. And the fact that he's like Cousin Greg too, it just makes it so much more distracting, because I'm like, that's Cousin Greg. And he was playing Jim Henson as one of his characters, and I'm like, I don't know, like, something about that, like, combination was just, like, deeply weird to me. I'm like, they do look alike, but, like, just them being, like, one person, it just felt, like, so off. But I think that's a personal thing. But yeah, it was so confusing, because so you first see him and he's got, like, a briefcase or, like, a suitcase, and then the next time you see him, he's in his Jim Henson costume. And before that, he had said, oh, I need to, like, go to the bathroom. So I'm thinking he's, like, taking his, like, suitcase to the bathroom, changing into Jim Henson. And then the next time you see the other character, the first one, they're like, oh my god, like, where have you been? We haven't seen you in so long. And he's like, oh, I just got lost. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, no, he is, like, one person just, like, changing. But that is just not true. So overall, I think it would be good if you knew anything about Saturday Night, but I don't. So I think that was just a miss on me. But and the last movie that I watched in February was Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Oh my gosh, this is the perfect movie, me at least, because I love stop motion. I love a cute little character saying quirky little things, and anything with a grandma in it. And this had all three, and I loved it. Yeah, I love that he says such profound things in such a comedic way, and it's just so, like, subtle. But everything he said, I was like, wow, this little creature has such a understanding of the world, even though he's never been out into it. And he's just a small little guy, and he doesn't really even know what's out there. Yeah, it was just funny. There were so many funny moments in that I'm like, I don't want to spoil, because I feel like everyone should go into it and just enjoy it. Just his love of community and his love for his grandmother, I thought was so sweet. But anyways, ending scene also was maybe one of the most beautiful scenes I have ever seen in my life. Just his perspective on how he fits in the world, I feel like everybody should take a note of, because he is such a small creature, but I don't know, I feel like it's hard to explain without people seeing it and me spoiling it. But basically, he figures out when he goes to the window at a certain time of day, his shell makes a sound that nothing else makes, and he is happy with how he fits into the world this way. And it's just such a small way that he fits in, but it really makes him, like, happy that he is existing in the world. I feel like I'm not explaining it very well, but when I watched it, I was sobbing in tears, and it's so good. Everything about that movie was amazing, and everybody should watch it. Yeah, I'll do some of my January watches as well. I'll just go over them kind of quickly. So the first movie I watched, actually no, this is not the first movie I watched in January, but these are just, like, kind of like the standouts for me that I watched. First one we're going to talk about is Cabaret. I had no idea what this movie was about when going into it, but I feel like I watched it at the perfect time, because it reflects what is happening right now in the world, which is so scary. Just, like, the slow creeping of the Nazis coming in and coming into power was so scary, and the fact that we are watching that happen in real time, everyone should watch this movie. Just go watch it. It's very important, I think, at a time like this. But on a lighter note, Liza Minnelli shines so bright. She is a star if I've ever seen one. Her acting is amazing. Her singing is amazing. The way she conveys her emotions while singing, oh my god, it's beautiful. Last song she sings, called Cabaret, was just a testament to all those things. Just the way she conveys her emotion in that song, oh, it's beautiful. The whole song is reflective of what happened in the movie, and it's a good end cap to the movie, I think. The next one I want to talk about is Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. Feathers McGraw is back. I love Feathers McGraw. Had all the spirit of a Wallace and Gromit movie that you'd be looking for in a Wallace and Gromit movie, and what they were able to achieve with the stop motion this time was amazing. Very much a step up for them, which is cool to see. Of course, it does not top Curse of the Were-Rabbit for me, but I think that is because I have so many childhood associations with Curse of the Were-Rabbit that it's like nothing is ever going to be able to top it, so that's kind of a personal thing. But yeah, very fun movie. I love Wallace and Gromit. And the last one that I want to talk about is A Real Pain. I think Jesse Eisenberg wrote and directed this movie. I could be wrong, but I think that is the case. And never have I ever related to both of the main characters in a movie so much in my entire life. Literally felt like I was watching my cognitive dissonance like play out on screen. It was crazy. Yeah, I've definitely been both of these characters in my life, and I probably still am, and I'm still having that battle. Very beautiful movie. Kieran Culkin was amazing. I loved his character. I thought he was so fun, but also like the depth of his character was something you don't see on screen that much. Felt like a real portrayal of depression, which is very nice to see on screen, because usually you see like depressed characters and they're kind of like moping along and like being sad, and that's just not the case most of the time. So I thought that was amazing. And Jesse Eisenberg's dinner table scene was insane. It really set my understanding of both the characters into place, where before it's like you know, you kind of know the characters and you're like getting to know them, but that like really like put it together. Yeah, I think it was written really well, and I love Jesse Eisenberg, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. And I feel like with every movie he does, he's getting better, which is really cool to see. And this felt very, very him. Yeah, so those were my media of the month, of 2 months, but yeah, love movies, and I love talking about movies, and I would love to talk about movies some more. I'm trying to like go more into depth with movies and like either like talk about them more or write about them more, because I watch a movie and I kind of don't reflect on it so much, and the only reflection I do is, oh, I liked it, or oh, I didn't like it. I want to dive into that more, where I'm like, why don't I like it, or why do I like it, and maybe if it's just meh, like, why do I think those things? Not just like, like, whatever, and forget about it. Because I do that so often, where I watch a movie, and then, like, a month later, I just don't even remember what even happened in it, which is very sad. Yeah, hopefully I can do more of these, and hopefully I don't sound literally so dumb when talking about movies. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this, and bye, I guess.